Welcome back to day 5. Woohoo! You made it this far, more than halfway. Did you guys see my motivational little live post in the Facebook group earlier last night? I was like, come on, we're in the home stretch here. You've come to 4 days. Don't give up now. Don't be like, oh, I'll come back to it. Like, you're here, you're in it to win it. So let's get to what we're here to do today. All right. So first of all, I'm super excited. First of all, for those of you who have taken care of your enrollments already, celebrating you for diving into the next step in your expansion and choosing to work with us in our tribe. Super excited to empower you to bloom in ways that you don't even know now. Like I know because I see it. Amy knows, and like it's just the coolest thing. So super excited for you. I'm excited to talk to you, Wendy, and you, Julie, today because you guys have calls on my calendar today. And for those of you who have booked calls later on in the week, really stoked to get to talk to you guys and see how we might be able to serve you in our program. So how are you guys feeling? How great was yesterday? How cool was it hearing from Tom? I hope you guys resonated and got something out of listening to him. Who has done their meditation today? Tell me in the chat. I want to celebrate you. Celebrate yourselves for doing your meditation. Who did your meditation today? Let's see you. Yes, Julie, Allison, Elena, Adam, Heather, Julie, Clara. Yes. You guys notice how it's like the same names popping up? If you're not celebrating in the chat and you have done your meditation, oh my gosh, celebrate it. This is like, guys, this is not like cameras off, like playing in the background. No, this is like be center stage here, playful out here. You have 2 more days to do that. Good, celebrating you, Sophia. Yes, if you haven't been doing your meditation, you're missing out. You guys, I don't give you this stuff for my health. I give you this stuff because it works. We have some singers in here who have been through the program. Amy, Clara, Stephanie's here. You might hear from her. You're gonna hear from her later. Like you guys, back me up here. This is not for my health. Okay, I'm not just like, what? How much more work can I give these guys just to make them feel like they're doing something? No, like it. Seriously, guys, the meditation is the connection. It is the thread that sets the mind-body connection. So if you haven't been doing the meditation, there is no make wrong. There is no feel bad. There is just make a different decision tomorrow. Because if you want different results, you got to be willing to do something differently. So I really want to empower you into that, okay? Doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Doesn't matter what choices you made yesterday. All that matters is that you're going to make a choice today that supports and serves all the things that you say that you want, okay? So celebrating you who have done your meditations today. Who explored the energy cards last night? Who did that? Tell me in the chat. How was it? How did you feel playing with? Tell me what one you played with in the chat. If you played with the energy exploration cards yesterday, tell me what you noticed and what was put in the chat what the card was that you played with. Sarah did. Ooh, yeah, Sarah, type in the chat. What card did you pick? Aura has been playing with all of them. Elena chose courage over comfort. Elena, that is very apropos considering the conversation that you had and the data that you got, after we got off our call earlier. Courage over comfort, girl. That's it for you. Like in all aspects, right? Let's see. Julie, the prosperity one. That's cool. The worth. Oh, okay. Colleen got the worth one. Yes. Colleen got, I'm brave and bold in pursuit of my best life. Yes. So, okay, Rochelle, if you missed it. So if you guys, the homework was from yesterday, the energy exploration cards. It's in your masterclass series workbook on the homework for day 4. So that's where you can find it. And if you don't have the workbook, Ashley just put the masterclass workbook in the chat. So you definitely want to get that. Okay, so we have a lot to get to today. So just a reminder of our housekeeping. Save your questions, train first, and then if we have time, we'll get to questions. And we have an entire session coming up on Wednesday, which is all Q&A. So I will get to all of that. Just jot them down if we don't have time today. Reminder, this is the safe space. Those who sing, those who share, we encourage vulnerability, bravery. So zero tolerance for any kind of criticism, judgment, meanness in the chat. Please uphold that value. It is one of my highest values for our community. If you do want to be a guinea pig and volunteer to coach in our session today, just make sure that your original sound for Zoom is switched to on in the Zoom meeting. Okay, let's get to work. Today, I want to give you guys my secret weapon for finding your sound. How many of you, like I hear this all the time, like from otherwise super talented singers, that they don't really understand why they keep getting passed over for things that they're going out for. Like you're doing everything that you know how to do, but the gigs, the auditions, the big opportunities that you want, they just keep going to other singers. So first of all, who feels that way? Tell me. Tell me in the chat if you're somebody who experiences this, where you're putting yourself out there and you're doing everything you know how to do, but you're not getting the results. You're not getting chosen. People are not casting you. People are not hiring you for the gigs that you pitch. People are not responding to what you're putting out there, listening to your records, watching your videos, engaging with you on social even, despite your effort. Who feels that way? Yeah, I see you. I do. Colleen, absolutely. Well, Colleen, we're about to change that. Right, girl? Colleen is our first enrollment coming into the program, coming in, and we're going to talk about it on Thursday. But yeah, like guys, or if it makes you feel like you're on the bench, in the sense that you don't really know how to stand out from the competition. You don't really know what your unique sound is, what makes you stand out. Like, you know, if you feel good in a performance, maybe, but you don't get the outcome you want even when you feel good. And so you're doing everything you know how to do, but it's not moving the needle for you. And maybe you put out an album or an EP and it does, like, some people listen to it, like you might get a couple thousand plays, but like that's where it begins and ends and it never gains any traction. You're trying to be on, authentic on social and put yourself out there and nobody's really engaging with what you do. Or you book gigs and those same venues don't continue to book you or have you back and you don't get it. And you feel like you're being authentic in performance. You feel like you're showing up and living in your own special sauce, as it were. But for some reason, it's just not landing. It's that impact gap that we were talking about back on Thursday and the first day of the workshop. And so one of the reasons that you're not standing out is often because you're not tapping into your unique emotional home, your unique energy, sound, being truly vulnerable and letting that show. And so maybe you end up just being maybe a really good parrot of somebody else's sound, a singer that you find to be really successful and that you admire. And so you just end up trying to manipulate and parrot their sound, the way they perform. And you may realize you're doing that like consciously, or you may not even realize that you're doing that. You have an idea of what you think you need to sound like to be successful, and it sounds like singer X, Y, and Z. So you can parrot that, but you're not standing out because that's not authentic to you. That's not your energy, your special sauce, your voice, your lane, what is unique about you. And maybe you don't know what that is, and that's okay. I mean, how many of you feel like you don't really know what your unique sound is? Or maybe you feel like it's not enough, that if you just stand in that it's not good enough, it's not interesting enough, it doesn't stand out enough. Like, who relates to this? Like, I really want to know, because this is for you today, all right? Today, I'm going to give you one of my favorite tools for accessing your most authentic emotional connection to yourself and to your songs, the material that you're singing, a step-by-step process that you can take yourself through to really make a song your own. So first, I would love for you all to just think of a song that you sing that you know really well, a song that you've sung many times. It could be a cover song if you're a songwriter. It could be one of your own. It doesn't matter. A song that you have memorized, a song that's not too long. So like I always say, no 7-minute Bohemian Rhapsodies today, okay? A song that you have done many times, you know, like the back of your hand, you perform a lot, you have a lot of history with. And I want to take you through a process, and we're going to do it with a volunteer. So you all have your song in mind. You all have a song in mind? Like, please make sure you do. Okay. And now, who has a song? Who would like to be our volunteer today to go through this process with me? Use the raised hand function. So it's at the bottom of your Zoom screen under React, which is a heart. If you click that, you'll see the raised hand function. Um, who would like to be the volunteer to go through this, finding your emotional home, your authenticity in a song? Let's see. Do I see a hand raised? Okay. Well, hang on, Colleen, because you and I are going to get to work together in the context of the program, and you have way more juice in this coming up. I would love to see if there's anybody who hasn't coached, and you also got to coach on the first day. And I love that you're volunteering because you're so all in, and I celebrate you for that. But somebody who hasn't coached yet and who hasn't gotten to volunteer yet. Are you guys scared? Do you think I'm going to bite? Come on, you guys, you're here. This is free coaching. Every single hand should be up. I am so disappointed that not every single hand is up. And the same thing goes for you, Nicholas. I love that your hand is up, but you and I got to coach already. And I love that you're so all in. All right, Heather, thank you for being brave. So Heather and then Sarah, we have time. We're going to have time for a few of you today. So Heather and then Sarah's on deck. Okay. Hey, Heather. Go ahead and unmute. You're still muted.
Hi.
Hey, hey. All right, celebrating you for being front and center and putting yourself up. Okay. So what's the song that came to mind for you?
Um, All Through the Night. It's a song I sing to my child, one of them every night, so I think
Okay.
I know it fairly well.
Okay. Is this a song that you perform? That's part of your
Actually, not since high school.
Okay.
It it's kind of simple and I just it was more of a lullaby.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. We can work on it. All right. So what I would love for you to do is let's do the song, and I just want you to align with, all the stuff that we've been leaning into for the last few days, and just allow it to be in you as much as it's in you at this point. Don't worry about making it perfect or anything. And let's do the song first, and then I'm going to take you through the process, okay?
All right. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber steeping. I, my loving vigil keeping all through the night.
Okay, let's do that much. That's great. So now I'm going to take you through a couple questions. Okay. So first of all, big hand for Heather for being the guinea pig, being the volunteer. Okay. Good. Okay. So my first question to you is, you guys, we need to connect with our songs emotionally in a way that that is specific and unique to us. And this song you've sung many times, like you said, to your child. Um, but in this context, right? There's If you were going to perform it, let's say, right? Then what is that's going to connect you that makes us go, "Oh, I'm feeling her right now." Because you sound beautiful, but if I'm gonna, because you guys, my job is not to sugarcoat it, right? You didn't come here for me to sugarcoat it, right? What I feel a little bit from you, Heather, is a little bit of like this, a wall, a little bit of a wall that's kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm having this experience here and you're over there and I'm comfortable enough with like this much of an energy bubble around me. I'm not so sure I want to let you audience into my energetic bubble, so to speak. Okay? So let's go through this and see what happens if we can connect you a little more so that that energy bubble can include us because you're going to be relating to what you're saying in a different way. Okay. So, first, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to in this?
During that, I was not talking to anyone.
Oh, I
I
know. I can
admit. Yeah.
tell.
Yeah. I was absolutely trying to focus on, and that's what I do. I focus on technique, and I'm very much the one that um makes myself smaller. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That's really, first of all, like super powerful awareness, Heather, that you can stand up in front of all these people and be like, you know what? That's my habit. It's my habit. Because you guys, the first step in transformation is awareness. You cannot change something that you're not aware of. So now it's like, okay, we've taken this thing that was like kind of an internal knowing and we've put it into forefront of consciousness. And so let's talk about that. Who do you want to talk to? Let's create what I call like a movie in your mind. So if this were a movie in your mind and you were singing this in a scene in the movie, like what's going on in the scene that you're singing this?
Um, I honestly, I'd probably be sticking with what I know and sing it to someone I love.
Okay, so who is that? Who do you want to
My
sing it
son.
to? Okay. How old is he?
He is now 13.
Okay, I get it. I have an 11-year-old and it's like, aren't you still like this?
Yep.
Okay. So, do you want to be singing it to him as his 16-year-old self or do you want to be singing it to the younger version of him?
Oh, um, that would be different, wouldn't it? Either way.
Yeah. And again, there's no right answer. It's what do you feel is connecting you more
I
to these
think
lyrics?
the future, because that's where we're going. And
Okay, so you want to be singing it
yeah,
to him as his 16-year-old self now.
yeah.
Okay, good. So again, so what are the first few lines of this? Just tell them to me.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night.
Okay. So what could and what's your son's name?
Max.
Max. Okay. So what could Max have said to you maybe earlier in the day or before bed or at dinner or something that makes you want to say these words to him that makes him need to hear these words from you right now tonight? What could have happened? What could he have said? What could you have seen? What could there have been an interaction that would cause you right before bed to pop into his 16-year-old room? He doesn't need a lullaby from mom, but you need a reason to say this. So what could that be? What could be the reason that compels you to say, sleep, my child, let peace attend thee? What could have happened, or what could you have experienced, or what could he have said that would make you say that?
College acceptance letter.
Okay. Like he's waiting
I'm
for it and he
leaving.
hasn't gotten it, or
But he's gotten it, and now I know we're going to be separated for the first time
okay.
for like more than, just the normal going off to sleep over or something. He's
Right.
going to be moving out
Okay. So, in this movie in your mind, is he already asleep and you're singing this to him for you
from
because
me.
it's you making your way through your feelings? Or is he awake and he's also having the same anxiety that you are about going away? And this is your way of responding and comforting to him? What scenario do you feel more connected to?
Wow. I never understood all the things that my teachers would tell me about trying to create the story, but this helps me figure it out.
So, you guys, connection happens in specificity.
Yeah.
The more specific you are in understanding what I like to call the movie in your mind, which is this the scene that you're in that helps you connect, right? The more real it is for you, the more of an emotional home you're able to connect to, and the easier it is for you to make that impact on the audience because it's real for you and you are right there. So, what's more real for you in this scenario? Does he need to hear this? Is he having this anxiety too? Or he's cool, but you're like, oh my God, empty nest. What am I going to do? And I need to just tell you this one last time.
Probably he's asleep.
Okay. Okay. So, college acceptance letter came that day. You did the dishes, you put everything away. He got ready for bed. He did his homework. Now the house is quiet. And what do you realize when you walk past his bedroom?
He's moving on with his life
Yeah, that this
and
might
leaving
be
me
one of
behind.
yeah, like this might be one of the last few times over the next month or two that I get to pop my head in and sing this lullaby. Okay? Okay. So, what is the overall emotional home? What word would you use or few words that you would use to describe your emotional state or that of your character in this moment, right? Because some of you are singing songs like from musicals or whatever, right? So it's either your character or it's you. What few words would you use to describe the emotional state of at the beginning of the song? Frustrated, curious, exhausted,
Loss,
joyful. Okay.
loss, necessary, but like everything's changing. He's going to be gone, and even if he comes back, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, change, right? And so how do your character in the song feel about this change? Are you anxious about it? Are you resisting it? Are you welcoming it? Are you excited about it? Are you fearful of it? What's the emotional word to describe?
Resisting, fearful,
Okay.
not excited about it at all.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so if you had to name the emotion, would that it's fear or it's anxiety or it's what is the emotion behind that resistance if you had to name it for this character in this moment?
Fear.
Fear. Okay. Okay. So she's scared. So why does she sing these words? So go back to the beginning of the words of the song. What is she trying to achieve?
To give him a blessing, to keep him safe when she can't be there
Okay.
anymore.
So she wants to keep him safe. So she's calling on the energy of the world, calling on the energy of God, whatever you believe in, to rally this blessing, this intention for her child moving forward. So let's do it again. I'm going to invite you to stand up, okay? And tilt your screen a little so we can see your face. There you go. Okay. So you need to see him in the bed. Like I want you to take yourself through that movie in your mind where it's like, okay, dishes are done, he's in bed, whatever. You walk, down the hall, and I want you to like see the door. I want you to imagine in your movie in your mind that you peek the door open and that moment of this could be the last time. I still need to keep him safe. So it's like that is like the little monologue, the little movie running in your mind because you need a reason, Heather, to say, sleep my child and let peace be with thee. Like that's your reason. So run that movie in your mind so that when you breathe for the phrase, you're breathing in, this is what I need to do to keep you safe and this is what I'm bringing right now. Okay? And then walk yourself through the movie in your mind. See him, sing to him, and remember your why here. Okay? Let's try it. Let's experiment with it.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night.
Yeah, don't stop. I'll tell you when to
Oh,
stop.
oh,
Yeah, okay, but since we did stop, what was that like for you? What did you notice about that?
it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. I do tend to try to make pretty sound and not go to at least uncomfortable emotions in music, ones that scare me.
Okay.
And so I do play it safe.
Okay. So let's up the stakes here. Thank you for sharing that with me. There's no way I'm going to let that go by without working with it. So let's up the stakes here, okay? I want you to imagine that instead of going off to college, that he's going off to war. That like you're a mother in the Ukraine, you're a mother in Israel, in Gaza, in where all these places in the world, okay? And you really don't know. You really don't know if he's coming back or when you will see him. Now, you guys, there's a whole nother interpretation of this song where we could go to joy and we could go to, but that's not what's gonna help her expand her artistic experience here, because she just told us that she tends to resist the difficult emotion and she tends to not want to go there because it becomes so vulnerable. Okay. You may feel like you get choked up. You may feel like you want to cry. That is okay. You need to let yourself feel these things. Cry through the song. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, oh my God, Stephanie, when you're going to hear from Stephanie later. So I think Stephanie and I cried through like 16 bars of songs together. Amy and I have done this. Okay. So when we're afraid to feel that, then we hold back, and like you were saying, we play small, and we don't let, and then the audience, it's a pretty sound, like Heather, it's a pretty sound, and you know as well as I do, it's not the fullest expression of your gift. It's boring. You know what I mean? In that way, like it's pretty, but I'm not going to pay to see that over and over again, because but you know that I don't have to tell you that, because you know you have a deeper well that you're not, that feels scary and maybe a little unsafe to go to. So tell me, what's the story that your mind is telling you about what would happen if you actually went there, if you actually let yourself feel those things and be seen feeling those things?
Oh, that I'm gonna get laughed at.
You're
I'm
going to
gonna
get
look
what?
stupid. I'll get laughed at. I'll look stupid. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And if you
Judgment.
get laughed at and you look stupid, then what does that mean? What's the story about what that would mean?
Um, well, realistically, I know it doesn't mean much of anything because
Oh, I know.
I'll never,
Intellectually, you
but
fully know that. I know. But
it,
your subconscious mind knows that it doesn't feel safe, or else it would be fine
yeah,
doing it, right?
yeah,
So what could that mean if you do get embarrassed?
that I'm not good,
Okay.
you
And
know,
if
that
you're
I'm
not,
I'm not doing what I should do. Like if I don't put myself out there and don't commit, then well, it's not. I could have done it. I just didn't. But if I actually go there and commit and fall short, then I failed.
right, right. Okay. This, you guys, this is the very insidious way that inner critic monkey mind tries to keep you safe. It's trying to keep her safe. It's telling her that, you know, in not doing it, if you put yourself out there and you fail, fail. But what do we know? What's one of our global beliefs? There is no fail, only opportunity. But come back to this for a second. Because if you do put yourself out there and you do fall short, then what is the story? What does that mean? What's the story your mind tells you if you do fall short? What does that mean?
That I'm not worthy, that I don't deserve it, and that I'll never have it.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, Heather's mind is making this one moment in this one song and tapping into her truth and her actual vulnerable emotions in front of this very safe group where there really are there's no consequences here, there's nothing to prove here, right? Nothing at stake here, but in her mind is making that mean all those dominoes fall. Well, then I'm not good enough, I will be embarrassed, I will be a failure, and that I'm ultimately not worthy of this thing that I want. And she's not alone in that. Like, our mind, like, we don't want to feel that way, but in this moment, all it's that this little moment your mind is making this one idea of like tapping into that mean, if I can't do that, then I'm not worthy of any of this. And so it's this massive pressure, and it's too much, which is why mind then chooses, well, it's better to play safe, because then I could tell myself, well, I could have done it, but now I'm choosing not to do it. And so I don't have to experience all that. I can just tell myself the excuse. Remember, we were talking about annihilating excuses? It's an excuse. I'm choosing it. No, you're not. You're being run by your monkey mind. Okay? And we're just telling ourselves that to make ourselves feel better. And you are not alone in this at all, at all, at all. Okay? We all do this if we're not aware of it. So, the idea being, not making a choice is also choosing. Meaning, what you're doing is you're choosing to stay where you are. And you guys miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. So, even though your mind is telling you that you're keeping yourself safe because you won't, quote, fail by not tapping into that and seeing what happens, actually you're ensuring the very outcome, which is that you're never gonna move with it, you're never gonna go anywhere with it, you will never achieve that. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So wouldn't it make sense, if we're gonna go to talk to your logical brain right now, right? Wouldn't it make sense to take a shot and find out? Because without that, I can guarantee you will stay where you are, and you will ensure, but you're just not going to feel as less than because you've told yourself, I'm choosing this, but you're choosing to stay where you are, right? So let's reframe this whole thing for a second, and I want to take it to, I was going to say, I'm going to up the stakes for you. Okay, so your son is now going to war, he's not just going to college. And allowing that this is like, what could you be willing to believe about just this moment right now, in this context, in this circumstance, with our beautiful safe group here? What could you be willing to believe that would allow you to experiment with, quote, going there, as you said?
I'm not sure I quite understand the question. What would I
Well,
be
there's a
willing to
belief right
believe?
now that if you go there, you will be embarrassed, you will be, do you say what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So, what could you be
So,
willing to believe or notice or appreciate about this situation that would reframe it, that would allow you to just right now in this moment, and you don't have to do it ever again if you don't want to, but right now, allow you to, quote, go there and let yourself feel those things and know that you are safe?
um, I could choose to believe that this is an opportunity to try to go there. And even if I don't get all the way there this time, it's part of the way and will set me on the path to where I need to be.
Right. So, the belief I'm going to invite you to cultivate is, either way, I win. Either I'm going to put this out there and I'm going to take it to 100, and I'm going to really allow myself to experience this, and I will be successful and it'll feel amazing and it'll be amazing, or I'm going to learn something so that the next shot I take feels amazing. Does that make sense? There is no fail here. What you just said, like I can just experiment and I'll get something, right? So either way I win. So if either way you win, how would you play with this? So like you're walking by the room, but now this is the last night. He's going to the Marines tomorrow. What would that be like? What is that emotional home now that you're starting the song in?
It's kind of devastation, isn't it?
Yeah. And so you're saying this. Why are you saying this? It changes the why, kind of.
Okay. Could you guys please be quiet? Sorry, they're never around. And yeah, what was the question?
So what changes? What is this new emotional home? Because like the stakes are now higher. You said it's like devastation. So so now having to say these words, sleep, my child, let peace, it takes on a new why, a new meaning. What is that?
I could never see him again.
You may not. So if you know that these could possibly be the last words that you say to him, how does it change the importance of these words?
It's everything.
Uh-huh.
Like the every you always think, what's the last thing I ever said to someone you love before they died,
Right.
before you never got to see him again, and
So
they
how would
have to be the right ones.
so
They
how
have to
would you want him
mean something.
to remember you saying these words? How would you want him to remember you saying these words? How would you want to remember this moment?
With love.
Okay. So now it's a little different. So let's do it again. Let's play with it again. Allow yourself to feel the emotion. If it feels like it's backing up on you, that's okay. Let yourself cry. Guys, everybody cries in studio class. I'm surprised that we haven't had anybody cry in here yet today. It's okay. Okay. Your job is just to experiment with I'm safe. Either way, I win. This is love. This is the last thing that I get to say to him. How do I say this? Go. Okay.
Do you want me to say it or sing it?
You're going to sing it.
Okay.
But take that moment, put yourself in the movie in your mind. Don't just jump in. Set that emotional state and that scene for yourself.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy rose, creeping, chill and veil in slumber steeping. I, my loving vigil keeping all through the night.
Yes. What was that like for you?
Still uncomfortable.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable because it's new, but
Yep.
everything you want, you guys, is just on the other side of your comfort zone. And when you go
I,
and you look into the chat, that was an impactful performance. You're gonna read this in the chat. Everyone is like, "Oh my God, Kleenex! I need the Kleenex!" Because we felt you, because you led us, and you were able to align with your a story, a connection that meant something to you that was honest. You weren't trying to like put some other show on about what this song is or isn't, you know? That honesty, that's what people will pay for. That's what people will cast. That's what people will hire again and again and again. When you can do that, You are the open channel of energy from you and your emotional experience to the audience. And that is what takes things to the next level. So what's the distinction for you? What will you how are you going to find this again in your own practice for other songs?
Well, be very specific in what my um, the story instead of just a general, oh, I'm singing it to my son. Like, why? Where are we? Like, I really I never looked into all those questions, and now I have more of an idea of what to do and an idea of what it feels like to actually sing while feeling the emotions.
Yes. And what data did you get from that? Because I know the story before was if I let myself do that, I'm going to be embarrassed. It's not going to be good. But you got some data here.
Yeah, um, that pretty much I'm the one that's critical.
Uh-huh. Yep. And that if you're not uncomfortable, Heather, you're not connecting. Right now, it's uncomfortable for you to connect because it's just not your habit yet. It's just not your
Yeah,
go-to. You keep it very tight and very safe. And so if you feel comfortable, you're in your habit and you're not connecting. And so that actually that feeling of discomfort of connecting, that's how you know that you're actually going in the right direction. And the more you do it, obviously, the less uncomfortable it will feel. And you will start to realize, oh, this is what that connection feels like. I know this and I know I'm safe and I'm going to continue to go in that direction. So I think for me, that's the most important piece here, which is that it is safe to be uncomfortable. You're the only one judging it, nobody else is, you know? Yeah, well done. That was really good. That was
thank
awesome.
you.
Yes. Okay, I want to talk to Steph, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna come back to Sarah, because Steph is a busy lady, and I'm so grateful that she's here today. And I really want you guys to talk to her, or I really want her to talk to you, I should say, because I thought it would be so cool for you to meet someone who is currently in the training program, in the intensive program right now, who's in the middle of doing this work and who really knows what it felt like to be stuck and held back in her voice, and who, even 2 months into this, has had such a massive transformation, that it's like everything that she has wanted is like happening now, like literally right now. And so Stephanie mostly worked as a composer and a producer and sort of stumbled back into recording her voice for projects since the pandemic, but in doing so had been really struggling with vocal fatigue, with not knowing what her authentic sound was, like everything we've been coaching on today, and really suffering also from like imposter syndrome as a vocalist because of all that. And so she's only halfway through the program, and in the first few months she's celebrating like more opportunities than she's ever had in her singing career. High level producers reaching out to work with her. Her dream studio has asked her to work with them to create and sing for their soundtrack. All these things are happening like right now, and she has a ton to share about the biggest things that really allowed her to have these breakthroughs, to free her voice into something much more powerful, much more reliable, and much more authentic, and owning that. And now all of these high level career things she's now experiencing because of it. So please welcome Stephanie Olmani.
Hi,
Welcome.
everybody.
Hey, so happy for you to be here. When I say she's busy, she's like recording this, she's pitching that, she's doing all these things. So thank you for spending the time. Um,
Great.
so first, if you would just like share with everybody what was going on with your voice and your singing leading up to before you started to train with us and how you were feeling.
Absolutely. And Heather, thank you so much for allowing us to witness that transformation in your voice. It was really amazing to watch you do that. So thank you for that. But yes, my name is Stephanie. I'm a composer, songwriter, producer for film and television out here in Los Angeles. I've been working in and out of the industry since 2008. And I work in many different styles, but my passion is more of the cinematic pop style for video games right now. And I was dealing with a lot of tension in my voice and strain and fatigue. I was also very pitchy. And because I'm a vocal producer, I could tune my vocals. But I had seen other session vocalists who could just record and it all be perfectly in tune. So I wanted to learn how to do that myself. And I also felt that when I was listening to the recordings that I made, I was just lacking like the magic or like this expression that I felt like I had heard in other people's recordings. So those were sort of the main reasons that I wanted to find some formal vocal training.
Yeah. And but how were you feeling though? Because I know
Yeah.
it was really hard, like leading up.
Yeah. So I was going to say, I hadn't had formal vocal training in 20 years. I did musical theater as a kid and did private lessons as a kid. I went to Berklee College of Music. Um, but I hadn't done anything formal in a really long time. And the biggest hurdle that I was coming across with was the imposter syndrome. I was feeling really insecure about myself, even though I had really big credits and was working on these huge projects. I felt like I couldn't even call myself a vocalist. So when I was searching for different teachers and I found Arden's website, I loved her holistic approach. And I just instantly felt as though this would be a supportive environment for not only for me to learn on the vocal technique, which would also give me more confidence, but also the mindset piece of just being able to stop calling myself a fake vocalist and just kind of step into my power. And I wanted to mention that when I was searching for a vocal teacher, I also tried one lesson with like a celebrity vocal coach out here in LA, and I won't name any names, but I did like a 30-minute class with this person, and it was much more of this like drill sergeant approach. And it was very stressful and it was very militaristic almost. And with Arden, I felt like is teaching the exact same concepts as some of these other approaches. Vocal technique is vocal technique, breath support, resonance, pitch. But I feel like I could embody it a lot quicker, easier, and less painfully because she delivers it, as I'm sure you've seen in the last 5 days, in a way that doesn't trigger your body into fight or flight. So you get much faster results and you actually enjoy doing the work as well. So her approach definitely resonated with me. And yeah, I feel like I get much faster results with that.
Well, your results have been very fast.
Yeah.
But
Thank
so
you.
I'm curious though, in the program, like what have been the most transformative aspects of this training or being inside this community? Like what have been the biggest ahas, the biggest game changers for
Yeah.
you?
Um, it's so funny because there's so many different things. I actually I find myself telling like all of my friends that I wish that they could take this course, even though they're not vocalists, because the mindset piece is so transformative that like it not only changed things in my work career and vocal career, but in my interpersonal relationships, in my emotional well-being, in my productivity. The meditations, each module, the journaling, all of these things that I've been doing in the intensive, I mean, this is not exaggerating to say at all. They've completely transformed my life. They've completely changed my life. The community is so supportive. I have had so many moments of just getting over these hurdles and stopping the self-sabotage that I didn't even realize I was doing before. Because it's not just, it's so funny because the vocal stuff and the career stuff almost feels like insignificant next to the mindset changes that I've gone through the modules, through every class, through everything. It's such a whole, like there's so many different parts of this intensive that when they all come together, it's mind blowing, honestly.
Well, and I rem and like it was like last week or 2 weeks ago where you came into studio class and you had that session. And would you mind kind of telling everybody that story because it was one of those moments where it all came together?
Yeah. So I had this session with these new producers that I'm working with, and I would usually approach, like, it was truly like my dream producers. I would have, before this intensive, I would have been so nervous. I would have approached it as this terrifying work that would mean something about my self-worth, that would mean something about my worthiness as an artist and all of these things. And I would have just probably went into it just really stressed and terrified. And
Would you have
Arden,
actually gone into it, or would you have pushed it and kicked the can and like until you felt ready, better, different?
honestly, I probably like would have somehow, I don't know, like just not even done it or tried to get out of it or something, because up until this point I had been self-sabotaging. Like I hadn't been really stepping into my power, and Arden told me to approach it as more of a play date, as just a way to explore. And I went into it, I mean, and it went beyond my wildest dreams, went amazing. I wasn't nervous at all the entire time. And then afterwards, when we were like celebrating our wins in mindset class, I still had so many hurdles because it went amazing, but I actually broke down and cried because I felt like I couldn't even celebrate this huge amazing win, because it was like I couldn't step into that power at all. And so I got to collect so much data afterwards that you can show up as your authentic self, and you can show up as almost a play date, and it can be easy. I think before I always associated like more pain, more gain. And Arden has completely switched my mindset with that. You can approach things with ease and authenticity and joy and get better results than if you're beating yourself down constantly and putting yourself down and self-sabotaging. And that's just been a priceless lesson.
But it has affected your the efficacy of your sound and the authenticity of your sound because guys, if she
Yes.
has the belief as she had that like more pain, more gain, the harder I push, the harder I force, the harder I work, and now all of a sudden she's in anxiety because she never feels like it's enough, and so she's either not even doing the session with these dream producers who, by the way, are like going to completely change her career and take her there. She wouldn't have even done it. So that's one outcome. Or she shows up with all of this forcing, pushing, anxiety that then causes her body to react to that, which is why there was so much vocal tension and so much inconsistency. So the two things going like this, like being able to, what would you say are the biggest beliefs? Like, would you share? Maybe they want to borrow some of your beliefs that you took into that
Yeah.
that helped you disconnect from that and allow the flow and the ease.
Um, Absolutely. That, you know, I can I so before I always would try to imitate other artists, or like I would like be trying to sound like Billie Eilish, or trying to sound like someone other than Stephanie. And I went into this, into the session like having this feeling of just I can be myself. Like I didn't feel any pain. I was able, it was crazy because it was a different time zone, so they went to sleep, and then I ended up singing for hours afterwards just because they were like, if you have any experiments or whatever. And because I had no vocal fatigue, I was able to just like let go and record so many different options, and they were blown away by that. They were so impressed that I had the vocal stamina to be able to, do that. And I now, like, even recently, like I was recording myself this week. I have, like, when I record something, then I go back and comp the different vocal takes. There's too many good takes now. I'm like, I don't
Yay!
really have to tune anything. It's like, wait, is that
High,
me? Like,
high
and I'm
class
only
problem.
Yeah, it's a great problem. Like I'm only 7 weeks in, and like this is already happening, and there's just no pain. There's no trying to be anyone else. There's just me showing up as me. And I didn't even realize I was trying to imitate other people, to be honest, until I was doing this work. And um yeah, they were so thrilled because they wanted to hear me. They didn't want to hear this session was basically a trailerized version of a very famous Massive Attack song. So I was going in there trying to imitate the original artist, the original vocalist, and they wanted me. They didn't want that. And because I allowed myself to show up to the session, it got such a better result. They were so much happier. I was happier because it didn't hurt as much. And hopefully I'm describing it correctly, but
Yeah, it's just
it
the
was
truth of
amazing. Yeah.
the truth of your experience. And you are only
Yeah.
7 weeks in, and it's like, oh my
Yes.
God, buckle up. Like, look, if this is you guys, this is what's possible when we create a mind body connection that's working for her instead of fighting itself and sabotaging it against her, right? And so what has this allowed you to do? Tell me now what you're looking forward to.
So it's really allowed me to just really step into my power as a vocalist, as a songwriter, as an authentic artist. And it's actually happened a lot quicker than I was expecting. The dream like work opportunities are rolling in so fast that like this past week I had to ask Arden if I could just pause the intensive for a week so I could catch up on all of the work that's rolling in. And what's great is like you set up this intensive at your own pace. So like if you really do have to, pause it for a week for any kind of emergencies, you can do that. And it's almost like I'm so overwhelmed by the magic that has been rolling in, that I literally can't I can't even explain. It's just moving so fast. I was telling her I feel like I'm on a racing train that like I can't stop all of the things that are coming in right now. And it's all things that I've always wanted. And yeah, I just it's truly transformative. It's truly life changing. And I, I keep telling my friends, like, I wish that you could experience this because I feel like what I've like up leveled so hard in 7 weeks, if I would have done like more like a traditional, lesson a week, which is what I kind of thought I was when I was searching for teachers, I thought that's what I was going to be doing. I probably would take me like 7 years to get to where I am right now.
If at all,
And
because when I
yeah,
used to teach the old fashioned way, we're not doing all of the artistic inquiries, the mindset work, like, and I know a lot of you guys who are watching are just like, well, you know, like, do I really need to do this intensive? Kind of, can I just space it out? Can I work one on one? And it's like, sure, you can find a teacher and do it that way. You will spend more money and you will waste more time. And that is, you guys, like, sorry, not sorry. I've taught that way, and I have been a student in that, in that context. And like part of the reason that I'm out here like shouting on the rooftops, like, you guys, there's a better way. And like wanting you to not have to take my word for it, because I could tell you till I'm blue in the face, but to be able to listen to Stephanie and listen to Tom and listen to Amy and those others who have been through this, like, it works if you work it. And so what would you like, Stephanie, if you were going to talk to somebody who was like, gosh, I really, I think I want this, but I don't really know, like, if I'm going to be able to train on Zoom well, or if I'm going to be able to, like, it's not in person and she's not in the room, or I don't know if I can manage the time. Like, what would you say, having been through it and being in it right now from your experience?
I mean, I would say that, the Zoom, I had never done anything on Zoom before. I was definitely skeptical about that, but I actually can't imagine doing a vocal lesson not on Zoom now. It's like I feel so comfortable to be doing it in my studio in this environment, that is not an issue at all, the Zoom thing. And I was skeptical about the group setting because I figured, am I going to get enough time to work? You actually learn, I swear I learned more from watching the other students in the class than I even do when I'm getting the one-on-one coaching, which you get plenty of every week, by the way. Um, it is, again, I'm working full time in the industry. I've worked on some of the biggest projects in the world, and this has hands down been the best investment I've ever made in my life and my career. Um, it's truly like, it's not an exaggeration. It's been life changing. I look at the past videos of me in the classes at the beginning of this intensive, and it's almost unrecognizable, the person and the vocalist that was there, and that's in 7 weeks. Like, it truly is the greatest investment in myself that I've ever made. And I went to Berklee College of Music. I've, done a lot of training. I've done a lot of things in my life. And it's like, I know it sounds very dramatic to say, but it's magic. It's truly magic. Arden is magic. The community is magic. Everything about this, if it is like it's honestly priceless. And again, I know it sounds dramatic, but the price is like not even an issue, because it's what you get out of it is beyond your wildest dreams. And again, I've worked in the industry since 2008. Like, I am pretty cynical when it comes to like things with the music industry. It has reignited my flame. Yeah, truly
And
worth the time investment. Yeah.
and I was speaking to this a little bit yesterday, which is to saying to you guys, like, it for a lot of you, it's not about the money. It's about tapping into your potential, unleashing that's what's within you, owning your gift. But when you do that, money happens. Because if you think about this now, like you talk about that big session that you just had, are they already contracting you for the next big project? Are they already offering you more money? Are they already like,
Yeah. They're literally getting text messages of like like the next arranger that's like, it's so wild. I'm actually like, I haven't like had a day off in like months. I'm like, please, like, I'm so in demand at the moment, because it's almost like I saw the light that I've been hiding for so long, and suddenly I like it. I can't stop it now. The train is like running me over with opportunities. It's
well,
all great though. I'm so grateful for it.
it's been such a pleasure, like watching you bloom. And
You
like you guys, Stephanie is really a true example of it works if you work it. Like, I know some of you might be listening to her and being like, well, I don't already have a career in the industry. I'm further back in my journey. I'm not in the same place. But the thing is that like, when you show up playful out, give 110%, you're coachable, you're resourceful, you're committed, then you will have the same transformation. It's going to look like what's right for you. It's going to take you to the place that you value, right? But like, because I don't want you to, I know how it can go, which is we hold ourselves out and we go, oh, well, she already had all this, so of course it's working for her. I mean, I'm sure you can speak to that, but
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, again, I have been working, but I haven't been working in the spaces that I want to be working in, if that makes sense. Like, now I'm getting the type of work, and it's only happened in the last 7 weeks, that I actually feel most passionate about. So I didn't realize that, like, even, I was just so cynical about a lot of things in music, and now it's like I'm attracting the things that are meant for me, if that makes sense. And Yeah, I would say, like, honestly, this has been so transformative that, like, again, the singing is almost like a secondary bonus. I really do feel like the mindset thing has just transformed like my human, like, as a, like,
but
you
as
get
a singer,
yeah,
as an artist, you guys,
yeah,
you bring your human. That's
yes.
what people are responding to.
Yeah.
Not just with her, with every single one of you who, want to move to that next level. Steph was at this level and she wanted to get to that level. Some of you are at this level and you want to get to this level. This is what's required, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if we're only focusing on this, we're not we're not able to create that transformation, because everything else is still down here. You can't say you want to be here and your energy and your beliefs and your being is still down here. that like attracts like, right? So thank you so much for just like sharing. I would love if you would leave everybody with like one belief that's become, because we've been talking about global beliefs a lot in here. So like what's one belief that you've really adopted that you continue to condition, maybe they will want to borrow it?
Um, I think really the maybe the perfectionist piece, that I can show up as my authentic self, and that is all I need to do. Like that's enough. I can show up, and because we wait until it's the right time, or your hair
Perfect.
looks perfect or this or whatever, to post that thing or do that thing, that actually people respond more when you are your authentic self. It's easier. I always thought I have to, like, have that perfectionist mentality before I can do things, or I need a certain amount of things to do this thing. You actually, there's no like time limits or anything like that. You can show up right as you are, and the magic will just start flowing in.
Yeah,
You can be yourself. I did not realize that before.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Stephanie. I'll
Thank
see you
you.
in class after Thanksgiving. Go rock all your tools and keep me posted
Thank
on everything. You guys, please give Stephanie a round of applause. Thank her for being here. She is super busy, and I just knew that she would be inspiring, have some gems to share. And so, thank you so much, Stephanie. I'll see you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
All right. So, it's there if you want it, guys. And when I say the it's like it doesn't mean my program. This isn't about me. This is about what happens when you decide what you want and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. The decision comes first. Whether it's like you need to step into a higher level of technique, you need to start to own your beliefs a little better. It's just a decision. And in the same way, like you heard from Amy, you heard from Tom, like the only difference between them and you is that you haven't made the decision yet. But when you do, buckle up, because that's what you have to look forward to, because you're teaching the universe how to treat you. You're teaching the universe with your own energy. I am worth spending time, energy, and money on to have what I want. My dreams are worth something. I am tired of playing small, and I'm now acting on my own behalf to create that. Because how many people say, I want this big thing over here, I want this big thing, but their actions and their beliefs are small, 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 small. They say, I want $1 million, and they're not willing to invest 1,000. What you're telling the universe is like energetically resistant, right? So it's about being what we call congruous in belief, in energy, in action, and in skill set. And when those things are congruous, that's what you get. So, okay, let's go back to keep coaching, because we have time, and I want Sarah to come up. So Sarah Crowley, I called on you next. So what I would love, is Sarah still here? There she is. Okay. Hey, girl.
Hi.
All right. So, what song? What do you want to play with?
I have been kind of dabbling with the song Reflection from
Milan.
Milan.
Okay. Okay. So before we go any further, taking the coaching from like the inquiries that I was giving to Heather. Okay. So do you have, now it's a little different when you're doing something that's from an actual story, that's from, in this case, a movie musical, right? But I'm pretty sure that you haven't been like a 10th century Chinese princess who's, wants to be a soldier, right? So we need to give you subtext that allows you to tap into the same emotional home, even though the actual circumstance is a little different, right? So when you guys are working on a song like this that's from something, if you haven't been in the exact situation that the character is in, then what we want to do is we want to identify the what the character wants emotionally and where the character is emotionally, and then we're going to translate that to something that you have experienced that does mean something to you. So where is she emotionally? How is she feeling at the beginning of this song? What does she want?
from the character's perspective or my perspective?
What? Well, not from your own personal experience, but just when we're
Yeah.
looking at Mulan here,
Yeah.
what does she want? What emotional state is she in?
To be honest, I love this song because I do resonate with it in a sense of, she's this person who is needing to mask herself to project uh, a charlatan in a sense, but it's really in protection of her family, her father. And I relate to that on a personal sense because I am Japanese American. I grew up half my life in America. I grew up half my life in Japan. And it didn't really matter whether I was in Japan. Like when I was in Japan, I was not looked at as a Japanese person. And then when I was in America, people like the school system treated me like I was ESL or I was a foreign exchange student. So I relate to Mulan in a sense of like, well, where is my identity then? Because I know it's here, but it's almost like it's being masked by these external circumstances that I couldn't quite necessarily control, or maybe I was trying to control it by putting up the mask. And here I'm trying to reveal this, like, who am I? What is my heart saying versus what, the mask is saying in a sense. Right. So there is this kind of emotional attachment for me in this song.
Okay, so you're already doing a great job of connecting your real world, real life experience to what's happening in the story in a way that is personal to you and that means something to you. So that's fantastic. So now let's see if you can let's see if we can, like we were talking about, right? Connection happens in the specific. So what could, not related to the actual movie story or whatever, but for you in the scenario that you've been talking about, what could have just happened? What could you have just witnessed, or what could somebody have just said to you, or something that makes you say, look at me, I would never have passed for a perfect girl, or like what could you have, so is there something that could connect you in your world, the movie in your mind that you want to create, that causes you in this moment right now to say these words?
Like a specific moment in time.
It doesn't have to be something that actually happened. It can
Okay.
be, or something that you could imagine happening that would cause you to say that.
Oh gosh. I just think of kind of like more of my childhood of like, look at me, guys, like whether it was like a family dynamic or like in a school dynamic.
Okay, so pick one of those dynamics. Okay. Because again, we just want to be specific, right?
Yes.
So pick one of those dynamics. Was there a time that you felt like you were invisible because of if you were in Japan and you weren't looked at as such, or in America? Like, was there something that comes to mind that would make you want to be like, I'm here, look at me. I'm not going to be perfect, but I'm going to be the reflection of me.
Yeah. I'll stick to the school dynamic.
Okay.
Very specifically with like teachers.
Okay.
Them just kind of like wanting to put me in a box because they didn't quite know how to handle me, but also I was the only student that spoke Japanese. All the other students spoke Spanish. And so even getting like honing more specifically into like maybe just me speaking to the teachers being like, look at me guys, like this is like, I don't necessarily belong here. Like, hello, it's like this, like, hi, I'm here, but you guys aren't, like, you guys are choosing not to see me because you'd rather not deal with me than,
And so what is that emotional state? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it grief? Like, what is it? And there's no right answer. It's just what you connect with.
Yes. I think it's a form of...
Is it sadness because they're not seeing you? Like, what is it?
I think I definitely feel kind of a roller coaster of emotions that kind of like repeat itself, which is frustration that leads to like annoying, like maybe a little bit of anger. And then, of course, like sadness for sure. Because it's like, I know I exist. Why is no one else seeing that I'm like here?
Okay. So let's play with this arc from frustration to anger to sadness through the song, okay? But we still need something specific that, like, when the intro of the song is playing, that you need to hear that teacher say to you. What could they have said that you heard? Or what could other students have maybe said? Or what could you have witnessed that you need a specific reason in that moment to say, look at me. So what could that be in your imagination? Like, what could the teacher have said to you? Because they're clearly not seeing you. That makes it clear that they're really not seeing you.
Or maybe it's not what they're saying at all. Maybe it's a place of like, I'm just being overlooked and just feeling invisible.
Okay. So what is that movie in your mind? Are the teachers like all over there working with the Mexican students and you're like over here like like I want you to set the scene in your mind.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's exactly that. In a sense. And also just it's the whole environment of like even, you know, kind of being separated because, you know, all the other kids that speak Spanish are just now huddled in their own bubble, and I'm like the only one standing there in class where like no one speaks English, like except me, but I'm not treated as if I speak English. I'm not being treated as if I'm even a citizen when I am.
So what is that emotion? Is that frustration? Is that anger?
It's frustration.
Okay. So we're gonna start the song, but before you do, just like I said to Heather, put yourself in the movie in your mind. See the kids all huddled together. See the teacher, you know, and when you breathe for look at me, right? It's like breathing into that, you know what I mean? Breathing into that suck of how you feel so that you're in that emotional state, and let's play with it and let's experiment and see how it goes.
Okay. Gosh, I feel the emotions rising.
Good. You're connecting. Yeah. So go ahead and stand up. Do it.
Okay. Sorry, I need to move my chair.
And full permission, Sarah, to experiment. I don't care what you sound like. I want you to experiment with what it's like to tap in. Okay?
Okay. Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day.
Just talk it and cry.
It's as if I play a part.
Just talk it and cry. Don't worry about singing it.
Now I see. If I wear a mask, I can fool the world. But I can't fool my heart.
Good. Let's work on that much. Okay. So Sarah and I had a discovery call a couple days ago, so I know more of Sarah's story than you guys do. Did you notice, Sarah, how when you started to get emotional, the voice went? Did you notice that? Okay. So I want to give you permission to be emotional and use your voice. I don't mean to sing. I mean your energetic, metaphoric voice. The truth of you. When you feel the emotion, allow yourself to breathe and tell yourself, I am safe vibrating here. I am safe being heard. This needs to be said, and I am safe to express it. So let's talk it again. You can sing it, you can talk it, whatever you want.
Okay. Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day, it's as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart.
Good. Now we're going to go to the next emotion, which is anger. Okay. So if you like, tell me something that you are absolutely certain of, like about yourself, that you know, like you know, like you know, like I know that I am a freaking great mother. I know that I can take anyone and make them a better singer than they were before. Like I know, like I know, like I know. So tell me something that you just like unequivocally know about yourself.
I know that I'm powerful and I'm capable of me, like my potential.
Yeah.
Like I know that I fucking exist.
Did you guys see how her all of a sudden the energy and the sound in her body dropped from being here to being here? Did you feel that? When you were claiming something that you are certain of. I know that I get to exist. I know that I am here right now. Tell me something that you absolutely love about yourself. What is one of your superpowers?
That I have gumption.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Like I'm capable of doing things that I feel like most people are too weak to do, perhaps.
Okay.
Like
So
I'm a survivor.
that superhero version of you, let's give her a name. What's her name? What's your superhero name?
That's a good one. I don't know why this is coming to me, but I'm just going to name her Flora. Like, I don't know
Flora.
why.
I'm picturing this like beautiful garden of just like abundance and like the energetic power of like flowers and like I don't know, that's what came into my head.
Right.
Okay, so Flora owns her knowing, owns her power. Where do you feel Flora when you feel that knowing, that certainty? Where do you feel that in your body?
Like where my solar plexus is, and I feel
Okay.
it kind of like behind my heart.
Here, center. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you are certain of something, where do you feel certainty? Where does certainty live in your body?
My core.
Lower.
Mm-hmm.
You mean? Okay. Like down, like gut, core.
Yeah, like maybe more
Root.
towards my root chakra, but it's like this energy that starts from my root chakra and just kind of surges upward, like within my solar plexus area. And it's definitely not throaty, because I don't feel any tension. It's like this like inner knowingness that feels me inside out.
Absolutely. Okay. So I want you to play with these lines just in speech right now. Not even worry about singing right now. Okay. But I want you to claim Flora for a second. So how does Flora stand? What is Flora's physiology? Like if you're going to stand, how does Flora stand? Yeah, and just like walk for a second in your space, just a little bit, and like walk with, like bring Flora into your energy, into your physiology. Yeah, and then claim your space as Flora.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Do you guys see how much more there's like here? Okay, there's so much more beautiful energy here. Now, I would love for Flora to tell us this story. Look at me. Flora knows who she is. Flora knows the gumption and the certainty, and that lives in her body because she has that. So what would Flora deliver these lines to say to somebody, look at me? Let's play with that for a second.
And singing or just speaking?
Just speech.
Okay. Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know. You'll never know me. Every day, it's as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I can't fool my heart.
Okay. So now we're going to do it one more time. I want to give you permission to take everything you just did. Yes. Did you feel that? That release for a second? Okay. You're safe being seen as Flora. You are safe being, she's already a part of you. Okay. So I want you to take everything that we just did. I want you to experiment with allowing her to be 150% bigger in your energy. I would love to see what happens when you really allow her to like rule the show, to drive the truck here, what could that be like if there were zero consequences to you being as powerful as you know you are? I don't know. Do that experiment. 150 flora.
And am I singing the
Nope,
lyrics?
you're just talking.
Okay.
Tell us what you know, like you know, like you know. Look at me.
Look at me. You may think you know me and who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day, it's as if I play a part. And now I see if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I can't fool my heart.
See, now she's getting angry because you let yourself.
Right.
And that went, oh, okay. So we're going to go back to singing. But again, like, don't worry about making it pretty. Don't show me your beautiful voice. We're in the flora, like certainty, like she knows what she knows. Look at me. Look at me. Get angry. You get to.
Okay.
One more time. Now with the lyrics and the melody.
Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day, as if I play a part. Now I see, if I wear a mask, I can fool the world, but I cannot fool my heart.
Okay, good. We're moving the needle here, okay? So now we're going to experiment a little bit more. And so your pitch center where you're starting is look at me. I just want you to talk it with the anger, with the frustration in your core, because you know you deserve to be seen. Look at me. Just chant it on pitch.
Look at me.
Yes. Can you put it down into that ownership? Remember, we talked about global belief. This is my house. This is my space. This is my journey. You don't get to tell me that you don't get to look at me. Look at me right into my pelvic floor.
Look at me.
Yes,
Look
but
at
we get to do it on the pitch. Look at me right into your pelvic floor, into your knowing.
Look at me.
Keep
I feel
going.
like
Like
there's,
draw
like,
it
a
out
little
and
bit
play.
of
Yeah, it's
tension.
it's a little bit up here. So let's slow it down. Look at me. Like you are going to freaking look at me. Look, you know how like when your parents, at least I do this with my daughter, when I want her attention, I slow down. Look at me. Wesley, did you do your cleaning? You know what I mean? Like I'm like slow, you know what I mean? Like grab their hold, you bring them to you. You're not desperate for them to look at you. You know you deserve to be looked at. So bring the energy to you. Look at me. Own it.
Look at me.
Yeah, do it one more time. Look. I just want you to siren.
Look.
Yes, do it in more speech.
Look.
Find your speech level. Look.
Look.
Yes, that was all in your body. Again, speech level. Look.
Look.
Yes. Now, long vowels like you're gonna look at me if it kills you. Look at me.
Look at me.
Good. You will, I forget what the rest of it is, but the
Okay.
same feeling. Own
Okay.
it, bring them to you. You're not desperate. You know what you're worth.
Look at me. You may think you see who I really am, but you'll never know me. Every day, it's as if I play a part.
Yes. That is the open energy channel. And that's just the beginning of it. That's like, there's like another 40% in there. But that went from 0 to 60%, 70%. Like, what did that feel like to you?
I felt, actually, it was so much more easy than what my mind was telling me of how it, like I thought, because I feel like I'm so used to straining and forcing, and it felt like all the energy was coming down, and it felt expansive and almost like hollow in a good way.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't pushing, I wasn't straining, or I wasn't forcing this energy to come out naturally.
Yeah, and then it doesn't get stuck here because it's all of that manipulating and forcing and trying that gets it stuck here. So what you guys just witnessed, and Sarah, that was awesome. Like celebrating you for just being like vulnerable and like coachable and just willing to experiment. What you guys witnessed is using that intention and the character and connecting her to herself to optimize her technique. So remember, you guys, technique is not optimized in a vacuum. I could have gone the technique route with her. I could have been like, more pelvic floor, Sarah. Find your container, Sarah. Like, find your sail. And all of those things are important. But she had them enough in the back of her mind because she'd been here for the last 4 days. There's a default level of just understanding. But when we addressed how she was connecting to herself, how she was connecting to her energy, now all of that just happened naturally without having to go to like the didactic vocal technique stuff. So there's like many ways to get to Rome here, and it's not one size fits all. And I'm going to coach Sarah this way because I know her story and I know what's important for her. And I might coach somebody else, you know, a little more going to the physiology and the technical route. And I'm going to do both. And I'm going to make sure that we understand the technique and that we understand the energy behind it because they play with each other. So as you play with this, Sarah, like, don't even worry about the technique. It shows up. You found your open space. You found your support. When you aligned with the beliefs and the energy that ignited that story. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So what's the big distinction for you? How are you going to find this again in your own practice?
Make it more personal,
Mm-hmm.
and create, I almost want to say, like, it's even like creating urgency of what I have to really lose, because if I'm not willing to go there anyway, I know with certainty that I am already losing.
Right.
And so just really having faith in the process of like letting go.
Yeah.
Like all the stories to me are old news anyway. Like it's all historical. It's not of the moment. It's irrelevant to the now.
Yeah. But that's not always easy to do because those old mind weeds can come in and, you know, take over the mind garden, as we call it. And so, you know, this week you've been doing the meditation work, you've been doing the thought exercises, you've been in the mix in the community, which is why in the moment that counts, and that's to me the biggest win here, is that in the moment that counts, you were able to go there. You were able to align with it instead of shutting down. And that's huge. Awesome. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Guys, give Sarah a round of applause. So great. All right. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive in the chat. Like, I don't know, Sarah, go look in the chat, okay? Like, you were all, you know, watching Sarah and aligning and also listening to Stephanie. And if you were listening to Steph and you're like, okay, this is what I really want. To be able to find my unique sound, to be able to have coaches who support me and trust me, to be able to trust my voice, to be able to know that my energy and my technique are aligning in a way that gets me to the next level, even so quickly, and you want our support to do it, and you want to work in the intensive training program to achieve that, then your next step is to schedule a discovery call with me to make sure, and we'll see if this is the right fit. And Ashley will put the link in the chat, get on my calendar. And if you know that this is the right container for you, the right community for you, the right coaches for you, then absolutely take care of your enrollment before the bonuses and the discount end on Wednesday, and the last day of our workshop this week. I want to celebrate each and every one of you who have shown up, who have made your singing a priority when it's so easy to let life and other things get in the way. As you know, we have a scholarship opportunity. And so if you've been with us every day of the workshop so far, you haven't missed a day, you're eligible to enter for our scholarship contest tonight to win a $4,000 scholarship for the intensive training program. So the scholarship brings the tuition down from 7K to just 3K. So it's huge. It's like more than half. So if you want to be considered for the scholarship and you've been here every day of the workshop, and guys, we can see if you've been here, so don't try to pull one over on us, then you want to throw your hat in the ring for the scholarship, then there's two simple things for you to do tonight. The first is Ashley's going to put a link in the chat to submit for the scholarship. And so what you need to do is you need to click that link and you're going to be instructed to record a short selfie video. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just like record a selfie on your phone. Speaking to the following, what doing the intensive and training in this context means to you, and why you should be the one to receive the opportunity for this scholarship. So a selfie video, and then also we need at least one link to you performing or to your online recordings, basically a link to where we can hear you and see you. So if you have a link to a video, if you have a link to your recordings on Spotify or something like that. So those are the two things that you will need to include in the scholarship form, which is Ashley just put the link in the chat. So copy that down, copy that link to be considered. You must get that form into us by 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. East, or 12 a.m. East Coast tonight. So by midnight East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific time. And then be here live tomorrow because I will announce the winner in our live session tomorrow. Again, you'll only be considered if you've been to every session this week and you've filled out the scholarship submission form with those links. And copy that down because we're not posting this link anywhere else publicly. It's not going to come to you in emails. It's for those who are here and who have been here. So copy that link. Make sure you get it back to us by tonight. And again, this is for our flagship 4-month intensive training program. This is all the singers who you've heard speak. That's the program that Stephanie's in, the program Tom went through, that Amy went through. This is technique, artistry, mindset. This is technique accelerator trainings for full command of your technique in the most consistent, reliable way. This is mind-body integration modules to dive deeper into what your unique patterns of thinking are and shifting how this is affecting your body and impacting your technique and your performances when you sing. It's individual weekly coaching to make sure that you're embodying your new skill set, your new mindset, your new artistry in the moment of singing in the most effective way. It's weekly group mindset call, which is topic focused coaching focused on supporting the mindset necessary for vocal growth. It's one-on-one accountability mentoring with your mindset coach to help you really break those boundaries that have stopped you in the past so that you can actualize and achieve the results that you want. And it's our community, it's our safe space for singers to go beyond their comfort zone and be in a really compassionate, supportive community to do that. And it's an incubator to be amongst like-minded artists and singers where you can really learn and take action and grow and achieve your creative goals together. So this is the program. This is for you if you really are feeling that despite all of your best efforts, you are not where you want to be in your singing and in your singing career. You really want to sing in a way that's more reliable, more consistent, more powerful, where your body is working for you, not against you. If you have invested in vocal training in the past that has not gotten you the results or opportunities that you want, and you need something that's more effective and that works faster. And if you have a vision for yourself of getting consistently better results from what you're doing, your performances, your auditions, your recordings, no more putting in all this time and hard work and energy and money and not seeing the kind of outcomes that you want. And you are ready to sing in a way that's consistent. You want to get rid of tension or strain or vocal fatigue. You want to be more reliable with your voice and sing in a way that not only sounds good, but feels good and is sustainable long term so that you can tap into your unique sound. What you have that nobody else does, everything that we've been working on today. And more than anything, you want to know that anytime you open your mouth to sing, you can trust your body. You can trust your voice to make the biggest possible impact no matter what, then this is the training container for you. So remember, we have 2 days left on the bonuses for those of you in the workshop. If you enroll before by midnight on Wednesday, it's $2,000 off the normal tuition. Tuition is usually $9K total, and we have this special discount for those of you who are in this container right now. So it's only $18.97 a month, 4 payments of $18.97 or 1 payment of $7K. And then our bonuses, you guys, for the first time, I'm doing this because I see the need, which is an audition self-tape critique for 1 song. So a lot of you have audition self-tapes that you're sending in, especially those of you who are doing competitions like Idol, like The Voice, especially those of you who are musical theater and classical singers. You have to send a self-tape now. Since COVID, that's just the way it is. Every first round audition is going to be a self-tape. And so many of you guys are cutting off your nose to spite your face on these self-tapes because you're doing stuff in them that you don't realize sabotages you. Either sabotages your performance or sabotages you from looking like professional, looking like you know what you're doing, looking like you're somebody who does this a lot and who's like ready to rock and ready to get hired. And it doesn't matter how talented you are. If you're making these mistakes, they're not going to take you seriously and they're not going to pass you on to the next level. So we're doing this, an audition self-tape critique for one of your songs, for those of you who take care of your enrollment now. And it doesn't mean you have to start the program now. You could start after Thanksgiving. You could start in December. It doesn't matter, but taking care of that now. And also a full audit of your artist website. Again, a lot of you sound amazing and you're not getting hired because your websites are sabotaging you in one way or another, or your EPK. You're not putting the necessary things on there and letting yourself be seen on there in ways that actually further the opportunities that you want. And so it makes you look either less professional or less serious. And we got to nip that in the bud right away. Like that and the audition self-tape, those should not be things that are stopping you from getting where you want to go. And so those are awesome bonuses that are included for those of you who take care of your enrollment by the end of Wednesday night. Also, last bonus is for the first 3 singers who actually, now we only have 2 of these left. For the first 2 singers who opt in through the pay in full option, the $7K pay in full, as opposed to the monthly option, you guys get 2 one-on-ones with me that you can use throughout the course of your program. You get me individually in studio class several times a week, but this would be separate and just a one-on-one container for just you and I over the course of the training program. So these bonuses go away Wednesday at midnight. So get on my calendar if you have questions. As long as you've booked your call by Wednesday, that doesn't mean you have had to have the call by Wednesday, but as long as you're on my calendar by midnight Wednesday night and you decide to enroll, you'll get the bonuses. And you can enroll in the program after Wednesday anytime you want, but the tuition goes back to the $9K normal rate after Wednesday. So even if you're on the fence, you really want it, but you have payment plan questions, or you want to make sure it's the right fit, or you have schedule questions about the holidays. Actually, let me address the holidays really quick. If you want to start training with us in the program, but you already have holiday travel plans set up, or you're worried about missing, don't worry. We break for the holidays too, so you won't miss anything. So don't let that be the thing. So get on my calendar. Let's talk. Let's talk about your specific goals. I want to answer your specific questions so that you don't miss the bonuses and the tuition discount if we decided to fit and you do want to enroll with us. So again, if you're eligible to put your hat in the ring for the scholarship and you're interested in that, submit that by midnight East Coast time, 9 p.m. Pacific. Be prepared to do your enrollment before the discount disappears. If you're interested, I want to just share my screen and make sure you guys are aware of the tuition options, just so this is not some like murky thing that I'm talking about. So this is our discount tuition right now. If through Wednesday at midnight, it's either 4 monthly payments of $18.97. It's the most flexible. If you want to save the most, it's 1 payment of $7K, or the PayPal financing is here. And tomorrow I might spend some time with those of you after the Zoom who want to stay on with me and like walk you through how financing works. I'll do that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I mean, depending on the rate and the term that you qualify for, this is a fantastic option because you could get in with us for as low as like $350 a month, and that's like a no-brainer, and it would allow you to start right away. So this is on our enrollment page, the link that Ashley just has been putting in the chat. All of this is there for you, as well as all of the specific information about the training program, and anything that you don't find in there, or you're just have some personal questions about your specific voice, your specific situation. You want to make sure that this is right for you. You guys, I don't want anybody in here who doesn't want to be here. So we really want to make sure that it is the right fit. Then get on my calendar for a quick discovery call. It's just 15 minutes and we'll discuss it and we'll make sure that it is the right fit for you. Okay, a word about tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be big. We are going to go deep. We are going to do some critical work, the biggest hurdle for pro singers and how to get over it. Without this piece, guys, like this is the bookend, all right? So like you got a lot of great mindset on Monday, and now we're going to wrap it up with really diving deep and going into mind and body, like technical skills and critical artist mindset skills on the biggest hurdle for pro singers and how to get over it, so that you guys act on your own behalf on stage and off, in your technique and in your journey of your career, in ways that serve you and that move the needle, instead of acting in ways that keep you small, that stop your most beautiful, powerful sound, and that stop you from taking actions that are going to get you where you want to go. So do not miss tomorrow. If you're interested in the scholarship, can't wait to see your application. Again, Ashley had the link in the chat, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Celebrating you for such great work today and being so supportive of your colleagues. Have a great rest of your evening, guys, and I will see you then. Bye.